Welcome back, guys. Just going to go a little bit further forward here. Um, let's just say rocks have been on my mind lately, namely these asteroids here. This is a little shingle that's going to be part of the load screen. Hopefully it's not overpowering, but in the background there should be some background music that's made by a friend of mine, Jimmo. He's also one of the one who helps me code. I didn't get a chance to record the video I wanted to yesterday, but I had a problem in my last set of space rocks. The mapping was wrong. So let's have a look here. We're up close to some space rocks here, and I don't know how this is going to be showing for the web, but if you notice, at least on these rocks, we're pretty close to them. They look okay. So yeah, a tiny bit of seams. You can sort of see the seam. Now, these rocks were made with or from a tutorial by Ducky 3D on Blender stuff. And what you may or may not notice is that I've significantly pruned the asteroid field. Apparently, I had some point-sized asteroids where there was a whole bunch of faces, but they all had one very tiny point. They were all virtually in the same position, and that causes havoc with Blender's render. Oh, that's a nice that's a nice nickname. What I'm going to try and quickly open here for a second. Oops, come on. Hopefully this opens up fairly quick. Come on. Okay, so this is a result of when I baked the normal map, so I'll just leave this up for a second. But up here in the corner is the way the rocks are. If you can see this, I'm hoping. Yeah, so Ducky has a tutorial on how to take an icosphere and explode it, cut it into pieces and explode it. It's awesome because it is simple and it has a great result. And then there's a couple things you can play around with as far as object groups for getting random rotation and everything on them. So it's hard to tell that started out as an icosphere. Now, what I had to go in is remove all the asteroid chunks that are smaller than this guy. Because what would happen is, I'm just going to hit all here. Oop, no, I didn't want to hit all. I'll select one. Select all the objects. Let's see if I can quickly go back to the modeling here. Okay, so these are actually pretty big now, but there were some that were there was actually probably about I think 50, maybe somewhere between 40 or 50 ones that were not much bigger than a single pixel in here when selected, which means they're almost invisible, and it was causing a nightmare to the layout of and the mapping here, because what you do to get that, and I'm not going to do it here again to trigger it. Oops. I need to be over here, and I need to shift select at least one of these. I think. Oh, edit mode. Yeah, I want to be in modeling. Yep. Need to select more than one, and then we go to UV idling, and if you hit, well, this is not working here now, of course. Oh well, it's ignoring me because I'm in object mode. But you go to this mode here, and then you would select Smart UV Project and go through the menu here. Like this is what I use 66 in that. I'm just gonna escape that because I don't want to do it again. I've already got them laid out. Then when you've done that, you go back into your shading, and whatever shader view you've applied, whatever material you'll put on your rocks, Blender puts them procedurally around everything based on the way that Blender's material system works. To bake them, you need correct UV coordinates. And what was happening was, because I didn't do the UVs after the explosion, they were doing their best to hold on to the UVs that were there from the original icosphere in the projections that worked in. Now, I could have done something simple, which I hinted in the last video, which is just use a triplanar texturing in the game. That's like, some people just call it the auto mapping or whatever, but you know, it would have worked. It would have had issues by doing it this way. The textures, the way they're on the rocks now here in Blender, just like that. You know, Blender's lighting is a little bit better than I had set up in the game, but the way the rocks appear, let me see if I can get near the top here. There's a light up here. You end up with these rocks that even have craters and whatnot with their texture. Now, that doesn't transfer perfectly over, but it does a good job doing it, because when you bake all these rocks, it puts them all onto one nice big texture. So if you have one nice big homogeneous kind of texture, the asteroids turn out okay. Anyhow, I'm just going to shut this because didn't really want to make it about Blender. It's about this. So in here we have our asteroid field, and somewhere around here, I don't find enough motion control on that part of the mouse to get to the same position in the same asteroid. But here, the mapping is still there. I just don't have the lighting the same. If you can see, the rocks are looking pretty good for space rocks. Now, I have to tweak the texture a little bit better because I've done a few things with those textures. But let's just run this here. And up it comes. So we've seen this before. For those of you that haven't, you probably not really need to go back and look at the other videos, but those were the hand-built rocks. These are the generator ones. And if you notice, I'm going to fly around a little bit. You're going to notice it's very hard to find one that has any kind of mapping error. There are a couple still. I just realized I need floodlights on this thing. I need to put a light on the front of this ship. For the sake of fun, I might do that in a minute, but if that's the case, don't be surprised if there's an addition to the end of this video with a floodlight on the front of the plane. In fact, just for fun, let's see how hard this is, because some of you guys have not seen how good it works. So here's our ship. I'm going to add, do we have a direction light? No. Let's just search light. Omnilight, spotlight. Yes. Put a spotlight. Okay, I need to see the gizmos. So there's the spotlight. Of course, it's pointing the wrong way around. Transform 180. Okay, so there's our spotlight. So now we'll see what this looks like. I don't know if I just made it so that we actually have a functioning. Yeah, it appears to be working. No. I don't have the spotlight working properly. Oh well, that was too simple. I probably didn't set the colors. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Because of how those rocks are set up, the rocks, unlike the space debris, are fixed in space, and I can give them physics property of being solid. So as far as this game is concerned, at the moment, those rocks are fixed points in space. They can't be moved, and if you hit in them, oh yeah, we do have some light coming off it now. It's just not very strong. If you hit them, you will bounce. Now I'm interested. Spotlight. Light. Energy. I'm going to put the energy to 10. Just because I'm interested. Sorry guys. Didn't really intend to be fiddling around with the lights, but okay. Do we have lighting here? Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Some of these rocks have incredibly dark texture. What? Oh, okay. Hang on. The other thing. Static body. Mesh instance. Cast shadow on. Flags. Oh yeah, it should be getting everything. Texture. I'll have to figure that out. Actually, but quickly while we're here, if you see the rocks have that blue halo on them all, that's actually their collision meshes. That's what you run into as a player. Yeah. Anyhow, that's the update there. I was trying to get the light, I was trying to get the forward-facing light on the ship to work. It seems like some of the meshes react to it. Some don't. Maybe, I do not know. I'd have to look into it. Oh yeah, okay. So that mesh does. Why these ones don't, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't close enough to them. Oh yeah, it's working now, maybe. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. The reflectivity and whatnot is... Oh no, they're working, it's just my cone is too small. Anyhow, that's that. Thanks for watching. You're sort of brought up to speed with the rocks. They now look a whole heck of a lot better. In fact, maybe just for the sake, I know this has run long, I'm going to do a quick turn up on that light. Spotlight. Put the energy up. And we are going to... we're not baking on this. We are using it light, so I need to view gizmos. And there we go. Let's just have a look here. Because if I got it to work... Oh yeah, there we go. Whoa. Those are the hand-built asteroids. I have not given them... Okay, yes. Some of these rocks are much bigger than I expected, and you have to get quite close. They're also quite dark. Some of them have an almost charcoal component to their texture. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, obviously I need to open up the light cone. Space junk, the space debris reacts to the light nicely. So yeah, I have to remember that the the light space junk reacts to the floodlights. That's good. I have to remember that the texture is a little bit too dark. I'm gonna have to go in and change that. But it is reacting to the light. So okay. Anyhow, that's how easy it is to create and fiddle with something in Godot. So hopefully that was interesting for some of you. Interaction with the rocks, though, has a side effect of that if you smack one, it's going to take your motion and give it back to you because they don't move. See? I'm just bouncing off that rock. Of course, I got space brakes, but that's kind of a cheat. But so are they right now. They're perfectly fixed in space. They can't move. So I could smack that as fast as I want here. Oh, or miss it completely, which is ironically what happens when you want to hit asteroids. There we go. There's nothing I can do about that hit. It imparted a whole lot of energy. In fact, it takes quite a bit to get rid of it unless you hit space brakes. So I'll have to put some special collision damping on after I detect a collision. Anyhow, if you've been watching this long, thanks anyways. You must be interested in this kind of stuff. And as always, if you like this kind of thing, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.